Saturday. So really excited because today is the anniversary of when I launched my children's books all about money. So I am celebrating today. My children's books are based on my daughter and her journey learning about money. They're also based on my son as well. So got the investing book. So it's all about inspiring financial literacy with kids. So my first book was Mommy, Can You Teach Me About Money? So this is me and my daughter be teaching her about earning money and how to spend it wisely. So in this book, Mommy, Can You Teach Me About Money? It's about my daughter, Destiny, learning about money. So in this book, I have very amazing illustrations about my daughter, wondering how she can earn money and what I spend money on. Is it all about spending money on bills and that's it, and groceries? But Destiny learns throughout the book that you can spend money on other things as well, like accomplishing your goals. So I take Destiny to work with me in this book, and she learns how I interact with others when I'm at work learning about money. So I work in human resources. So this kind of inspired me teach the community about money because I do work closely with my employees, but I also wanted to impact the community as well. And creating these children's books helps me to teach kids about money before they get into the workplace, because that's where a lot of people struggle, is in the workplace, trying to understand benefits, trying to understand like how do they budget money when they have that job where they didn't have that consistent income, especially right outside of college. So Mommy, Can You Teach Me About Money teaches children the basics, how you can have fun with money, but also what you can do with it once you get a job. So in the back of each of my books, in the back of each of my books, there's checks on learning. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want learning to stop once you put that book down or once you stop reading that book. So I have children answer questions about the book. What happened in the book? What did you see that occurred when Destiny was learning about money? And then there's questions that I provide kids because I want them to continue that conversation. So the back of each of my books is also questions for kids to ask an adult about money, because I want them to continue to ask those questions and learning about money so that we can get to that next book in the series. So the first one is Mommy, Can You Teach Me About Money? Then we go on to that next stage in the process is Destiny's question is, Mom, how can I save this money? What's the next steps when I earn money? How do I save it? So ta-da! Mommy, Can You Teach Me How to Save? Again, great illustrations in this book, but Destiny got her first job. Now she's like, okay, what do I do with it? Because Destiny has goals in the future of being a veterinarian. So again, like I said, this started with my daughter as the inspiration. She's currently in college now to be a veterinarian. So this is continuing that journey. She got that first job at the lemonade stand, and then she was washing our neighbor's dog. So in Mommy, Can You Teach Me How to Save? She starts to save. She learns different ways that she can save. And again, just based on the anniversary, it's been 1 year since I started this journey. It's been very exciting, had a lot of community connections. A lot of people were impacted about this book because they haven't seen books like this that make the stories relatable. And again, like with my children, I've taught them growing up about how to save money. We've taken these journeys to the bank. We've gone out into nature and say, how can I relate the growing of an orange tree and it producing fruit into saving and that compounding interest? So I like to relate these things to everyday life. And that's what I do in the books. So once Destiny learned how to earn, she then learned how to save. And have you ever heard someone say, you need a rainy day fund? Well, okay, Destiny has her umbrella. She's playing in the rain, and that's her savings. That's her parachute to help her save. And that's her protection when she's has something that comes up in the future, or when you have something that comes up in the future, you want that rainy day fund where you're setting that money aside. But, you know, again, I just also want to make it fun for the kids as they learn about money. So Destiny learns how to save in this book because she wants to purchase a microphone. And what are some things that she can do? She can clean her room. I know a lot of parents don't like to pay their children for doing chores, but it's something that's an incentive. You go to work, you want to earn some money for that, but it's not the main way that she can earn money to save her goals. Like I said before at the beginning of the series, she learns how she can earn that by washing the neighbor's dog, by having that lemonade stand, various other ways that she can earn money. And then doing chores is just one of those things. And then she receives money at her birthday party, because does Destiny actually save enough money to buy that microphone? Well, in this book, she does, because her parents are just consistently teaching her, hey, you have priorities. If this is something that you want in the future, you need to save for it. You need to create that vision board. And for children, I make this even more relatable because I have them draw it in a picture. Yeah, you can create it in Canva, you can create a list as an adult, but drawing it out also makes it even more relatable. And then having it on the door in their bedroom as a constant reminder that this is something that I want to achieve. So my daughter, on the back of her bedroom door, she had tons of pictures as she was growing up, things she drew in school, things she drew on the weekend. So this is one of the other things that she did. She put what she wanted in the future for the holidays, for her birthday. She would draw it and put it on the back of her bedroom door. So again, incorporating that real life experience into my books is how I help children learn how to save. Like I mentioned before, in the Mommy, Can You Teach Me About Money book, there are questions. So kind of like a check on learning. My husband used to be a teacher, so he was like, you got to do that check on learning to keep them engaged. So there's activity guides for the children in the book. So there's questions. What job did Destiny have? How did she save that money? What was the one thing that she wanted to save for? And then did she save enough money for it? So it keeps it fun, but it also has the kids going back to make it relatable so that it sticks in their mind. And again, I want them to continue asking those questions. So I've created questions for children to continue asking those adults. You know, Mom, how do you save money? Dad, how do you save money? Auntie, uncle, how do you save money? So you can have those conversations with adults so that you can see how they've done it and how relatable it is. You know, we don't want kids to leave our home and not understand the basic concepts of money. My clients tell me all the time, you know, I wish I would have learned about this as a child. And because they didn't learn about it as a child, they go into that workplace and they don't have those basic money principles that can help them get further in life or succeed in those goals. So the purpose of this series of books is for my clients and for you and your children to continue to learn about money. And it just encourages that conversation so they don't get into a situation where they're wondering about where's my next paycheck coming from? How am I going to afford to buy a house, a car? How do I save? How do I budget? So this was the beginning. Let me teach you about the basics of money. Then let me teach you how to save that money. Then as the children get older, because these two books here, Can You Teach Me About Money and Can You Teach Me How to Save, are for those age ranges between 4 and 10 years old. So then what I did was I created book 3 in the series, Mommy, Can You Teach Me How to Budget? So incorporating my son into this picture in the book series, his name is Trey, where him and Destiny are a little bit older and they're both saving for a goal. So Trey wants to save for a car. So he's not interested in going to college just yet. And it's like me. When I got out of high school, I was not interested in going to college. I wanted to join the military and just get my life started. So that's what I did. And Trey just wants to start his journey in life. So in Mommy, Can You Teach Me How to Budget, he's learning how to save for that car. And like I mentioned, Destiny's goal is to be a veterinarian. So she's saving up for college so that she doesn't have to be dependent on her parents when she goes to college. So again, real life relatable experiences in this book, and it can relate to multiple children in their goals, because as you know, everyone doesn't want to go to college. You probably didn't want to go to college yet. You probably still haven't, because you have that at some time in the future. That's a goal that you want to accomplish. But Trey and Destiny, they learn from their mom in this book. And again, I break it down into relatable story format. When Trey and Destiny are learning how to budget, they're in their home and their mom relates budgeting to basic food principles and how you're picking up things from a salad bar. You want to get the olives on your salad, but then you also want to get tomatoes on your salad, and you have different buckets of what you want to, how you want to establish your budget. So Trey and Destiny go throughout the story of Mommy, Can You Teach Me How to Budget, learning how they can save for their goal. Trey in the story and Destiny, both of them, they spend a lot of their money on, Destiny is clothes and makeup is the things that she is spending all of her money on. And Trey is spending all of his money on food and video games. And they're wondering, you know, how can I save that money for that red car that Trey wants to save for and purchase in the future? So you'll see in one of my other books, The Great Money Quest, where Trey has a fascination for red cars. And my son, he had a fascination for cars and video games. So, you know, I like to bring them into the story to say, you know, this is life. This is real life, and children and adults always want things that, you know, are sometimes at a far reach for us. So I want to say this is how you can get those things that you have your eye on, that's in your vision. How do you create that vision, and how do you create it in measurable steps? There's a saying of, how can you eat an elephant? And it's one bite at a time. And that's the same way you tackle your budget, one bite at a time, $1 at a time. You know, you build upon that savings, each deposit at a time, and that's how you accomplish your goals. So Trey and Destiny, like I said, she loves to eat out. And when my daughter went off to college and she was like, okay, this is life, she spent a lot of her money on eating out. And she just didn't know where it was coming from. And we were also had purchased a meal plan for her. We're like, hey, wait a minute, you need to adjust your spending. So you need to start taking advantage of that meal plan and cooking more of your meals. So in the story, Destiny starts to cook at home. She's like, how can I meal plan? And a lot of us fall into that trap of eating out at restaurants because it's quick, it's easy, and it ends up being a lot of money. I went to McDonald's the other day and the meal was $15. It's gone. You could spend $15 at the grocery store and that meal can last you, those food items can last you for 2 or 3 days. You can go get some leg quarters, you can go get some rice, you know, some vegetables, anything like that. So when you cook at home, you are saving, you have multiple meals, but if you go to that restaurant, that meal it's one and done. So those are those, again, like I said, those real life principles that Destiny and Trey learned throughout the book. And then Trey was like, okay, how can I set up my savings so I can buy that car? And what are some other things that I may need to save for? And one of those things is insurance. Because you think about when you buy a car, you got it, bam, you're good, you're gone. But you got maintenance, you got insurance, you got gas, all those different types of things. And Trey learns that, so he sets up a spreadsheet of how he can save for that car and all those other incidentals as well. So again, the series starts with money, then saving, and then Mommy, Can You Teach Me How to Budget? What do you think happened at the end of the book? Do you think that Trey and Destiny accomplished their goals of budgeting and saving for their goal? Well, I'll let you find out a little bit later. So I do want to say this. So these books are here on TikTok, but they're also on Walmart.com. They're on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, all the major retailers, you can find the Mommy Can You Teach Me About Money series of books. So it's a 4-part book series, because once you learn how to budget and you learn how to save, then what's next? What do you do with that money that you have? You want to grow it. The money doesn't just sit there because you have those goals. So how do you grow that money? I'll tell you how. You invest. And y'all, it was so fun creating this series of books, and especially books with ethnic representation as well. You don't see that often. And again, in the Black community, we don't tend to talk about money. It's you have this money, you do what you need to do with it, you put it under the mattress, you don't trust banks. And again, trust me, I have experienced this with my employees where they don't like to talk about it. They aren't a fan of technology. They aren't a fan of banks, but putting trust into these financial institutions can help you grow your wealth. If your money is sitting under a mattress, or if you receive your check from an employer, you keep it in cash, your money's not going to grow. Now, there are safe investments, and then there's also, investments that are a little bit risky. So it depends on your risk level, on how you want to grow your wealth. Do you want that balanced growth approach, or do you want that growth approach when it comes, that high growth approach when it comes to investing? So in the Mom, and this is the thing. So when you're younger, you say, Mommy, Daddy, whatever. So what I did with the investing book was Trey and Destiny, they grew up a little bit. So I was like, we're going to change it to Mom. Can you teach me how to invest? Now, I do want to say this, that some kids may not have their mother in their life, but again, this is how I created the series, because I want families to encourage their kids to learn about money before they leave the household. Give them those basic principles. And then again, when they become teenagers, they can start learning about investing. So you don't have those day traders. There's not a lot of day traders that are successful. If you go to someone who this is their profession, this is their expertise when it comes to investing, have those conversations. Again, as a financial counselor, one of the major things that my clients struggle with is saving for retirement. What are those different options that they have when it comes to saving for retirement or investing your money? So in this book, Mom, Can You Teach Me How to Invest? I teach Trey and Destiny about the basics of investing. What does low risk mean? What does medium risk mean? What does high risk mean? And we have that conversation and make it relatable. It's a conversation. My goal is to encourage the dialogue that you're having with your child when it comes to learning about money. I want you to be open and honest and comfortable with having those conversations with your children when it comes to talking about money. And it doesn't even have to be your child. It could be a niece, it could be a nephew, it could be a close family friend, but just giving them those basics of learning about money is what the Mom Can You Teach Me About Money series of books is all about. The other goal of this book is to understand why the teenagers or young adults want to invest. So yes, I do explain low risk investments in this book, and it comes in hardback and paperback. So this is the only book in the series that comes in a hardback, but it's chapters. So it have various chapters with low, medium, and high risk investments. So this one, because the book is for older kids, there are fewer illustrations in the book. So it's more about learning those concepts when it comes to investing. So one of the questions at the end of the chapter, when I talk about low risk investments, the low risk investments, I talk about savings bonds and certificates of deposits. So again, low risk investments, not a big chance of you losing your money at all, because with these investments, they're not invested in the stock market. You're lending your money to the government or the bank, and you're earning interest on that money that you've loaned to the bank or the Treasury Department if you're purchasing a savings bonds. With either one of those, you would potentially lose the interest that you've gained if you take the withdrawals out early, but you still have your initial deposit. So very low risk investments. And that's what I explained to Trey and Destiny in the Mom, Can You Teach Me How to Invest book. But then again, like I said, the goal is to understand why they want to invest. So the first question at the end of this book is, what are your investment goals? What do you want to save for? And that should be the basic question that's asked when you read this book. And also when you're talking to a financial advisor, or when you're just basically learning how to save. What are you saving for? When do you want to save that amount by? Are you trying to achieve a goal in 10 years? Are you truly saving for retirement 30, 40 years from now? What's the goal that you're saving for? The other question is, why are you interested in investing? Is it because you heard that term, investing, and day traders being very successful? Or is it to grow your wealth and to learn about the market, or for something else? So I want teenagers and young adults to understand, why are they interested in investing, and what's the end game when it comes to that. So this is the book 4 of the Mom, Can You Teach Me About Money series of books. Again, having those relatable stories in there for Trey and Destiny and young children to learn. I want children to be able to connect with the characters in my books so that we continue that conversation. Now, I've done a lot of community events, and a lot of individuals say, I wish I had this as a child. We didn't have those resources where I could learn about money, the principles, the basics as a child. And again, talking with my clients, I was like, this will be a great resource, get this for your child. So again, happy to celebrate the anniversary of launching the Mommy, Can You Teach Me series of books. So, these books are about, we started with Mom, Can You Teach Me About Money? Mommy, Can You Teach Me How to Save? Mommy, Can You Teach Me How to Budget? And then Mom, Can You Teach Me How to Invest? So I wanted to incorporate a little bit more fun into the books as well. Yes, we've learned about all of that. So I wanted to create an adventure. So I came up with The Great Money Quest. So The Great Money Quest is Trey and his mom going on an adventure, throughout the house. Again, I want to make this relatable, and also for you to use this same concept when you're talking to your children about money or teaching them about money. So in The Great Money Quest, and I have an event coming up in January, and this is going to be the feature book about The Great Money Quest. So I'll be dressed in, camouflage. As a military veteran, I still have my camo. Who gets rid of it? I'll be dressed in camo, and I'll also be handing out principles to kids so that they can embark on that adventure with me. So again, The Great Money Quest is Trey and his mom going on an adventure throughout the house, learning about money. So Trey's asking his mom, what are all these coins and these paper bills? Like, what is it? And what can I buy with them? So throughout The Great Money Quest, let me give you a little shot here. The mom hides money throughout the house in various areas where Trey plays in, where he eats at. And then as he finds the coins and the dollar bills, Trey's mom says what he can buy. So the first one is a penny. Now, I remember growing up back in the day where you could buy penny candy from the store down the street. Well, you really can't do that now. So with a penny, I told, Trey in the story, it could bring a little bit of happiness and joy. Because in the first couple of books, we talked about how you can save, how you can earn, but also what can you do to give back to others? When it comes to money, it's not all about buying things and growing your wealth. It's what's that impact that you can have on others as well. Beginning the book, it's all about bringing joy. Money can bring joy to others. So Trey finds that penny under the couch in the house, and he sees a little girl outside with a little red balloon. And he goes and he gives her a penny because he actually found 2. So he kept one. He goes outside and he gives the little girl with the red balloon a penny, and she loves it. She thanks him for giving him that little penny. And it just shows him how that little, effort that he put forth, how it can give joy to others. So that's, again, money can be a difficult topic to talk about, but I'm like, how can we bring joy to others when it comes to giving back to them? Again, this is the Great Money Quest, which is, it's like a sequel. It's a sequel to the Mommy Can You Teach Me About Money series. And then Trey finds a quarter. So typically, again, like I said, back in the day, I haven't played video games in a while. You could put a quarter in a video game machine to just play that video game. Now I think it takes like 2 or 3 quarters. So Trey has a quarter and he wants to play a video game, but he also wants to buy a pack of crayons. And he was like, Mom, can I get the pack of crayons and play the video games? So his mom's like, well, you got to pick. Which one do you want to do the most? Which one do you value the most? It's going to bring you the most joy. So he's in the middle of the video game store and trying to decide on what he wants to do. And we need to do that, again, when we're budgeting. What's that one thing that's in your vision that you want to accomplish? Is it that thing that impulse buy that's going to give you that instant joy? Or is it saving for something that's in the long run going to give you even greater joy because you saved, you put forth that effort to, reduce those impulses. So again, Trey is making that decision. I also brought into this book joy. In each illustration that I have, I want to show smiling children, or I showed smiling children, y'all. I want talking about money to be joyful and happy and not stressful. So each illustration just brings joy when we're talking about money. I also wanted to incorporate family. So Trey finds a $10 bill in the garage and he's saying, Mom, what can I do with this $10? And in the book, it brings togetherness. So Trey ends up buying a $10 toolbox from the dollar store, one of those little toy dollar toolboxes, and he ends up spending time with his dad. They're tinkering in the garage, fixing the car. Trey's probably not really doing much of anything, but it's that togetherness that he has with his father that makes that $10 even more valuable. And then he finds $20 and he was like, okay, either Trey can buy, another toolbox, a car or whatever. But what he ends up doing with that $20 bill is he buys a scarf for his mom. It's creating warmth around his mother, but it's also, creating warmth in his heart as well with that $20. So again, like I said, I did the Great Money Quest because I wanted to make it a little bit more fun and show how kids can give back to others when it comes to money. And yes, you can save for some things that you want to buy for yourself, but how can you give back to others? At the end of the book, Trey is still, in wonder and awe of money, but he has those sweet dreams because of everything that he's accomplished by finding money, learning about money, bringing joy to others, spending time with others. And that's what money can do. Again, it's not always about what you can save for or what you can grow. How do you impact the lives of others? And in the Great Money Quest, children can learn all about that. Adults too, because adults, we have a lot to learn when it comes to money, about being open about talking about money and being less nervous about money and making decisions. So again, the Great Money Quest is book 5 of the Mommy Can You Teach Me About Money series. So finally, what I did is I wanted to increase diversity even more. So like I said, I work in human resources and all about diversity and everything. So I was like, okay, this series, I want to get African Americans talking about money. How do we get other races to talk about money? Bam! The ABCs of money for little spenders. I know the cover, I didn't want to highlight a particular race on the cover about that, but I did want to show the joy in their little faces when it comes to talking about money for little spenders. So with the ABCs of money for little spenders, we go from A to Z, those different money concepts. So at the end, it starts with zero. We don't want to have zero in our bank accounts when it comes to money. So the ABCs of money for little spenders was the latest edition. This is separate from the series. It's a standalone book. So you don't have to get one book to kind of like build upon that. But the ABCs of money for little spenders. And this is dedicated to my grandson and also new granddaughter. So she turned 1, Kinsley. So Nasir and Kinsley is who this book is dedicated to, but then also the other children of the world to just learn about money as they grow. And again, I wanted to make this one as inclusive as possible. So the book starts off again, we talk about A for allowance. And again, I know a lot of people don't like to give their kids an allowance, but it's an option to show them how they can start learning and managing their money. So again, I have diversity all throughout this book. We go from A is for allowance, D is for donate. Again, I want to talk about giving to others and not just what you can buy. So it starts with allowance. And how do you get an allowance? Your parents give you that money for an allowance for you either doing a chore or getting a good grade or just as an allowance for you to save for the future. And then we talk about earning as well. So the little gentleman right here is earning money at his lemonade stand. Again, I want to show joy as the kids are talking about money. So you're going to see smiling throughout this book. There is no frowning about anything. Even when it comes to the end of the book, when we get to Z0, no one's frowning because they have no money at all, because they're not. Because as you learn about money, you're going to learn how to keep that money and make those decisions where they aren't impulse decisions. So again, E is for earn. Again, smiling young individual here, learning about how she can get a job to earn that money. Again, I wanted this book available to all kids, all races, all genders. And I even have a little individual here who has needs. You can use needs are the things we require to survive. We use money to purchase important items such as food, clothing, and shelter. I brought diversity and disability into this book. So I'm a disabled veteran, 100% disabled. I have hearing disabilities. So I recently had surgery on my left ear. I had a stapedectomy because I had 75% hearing loss in my left ear, and I have 50% hearing loss in my right ear. And I wanted everyone needs to learn about money. So when it comes to disabilities, I wanted to let everyone know that even though if you have a disability, that doesn't make you different from anyone else. We all need to learn basic money concepts. At my job, we employ individuals with disabilities and we seek for them to get gainful employment so that they can earn and sustain themselves when it comes to having a basic standard of living or being able to pay their bills. So I wanted to bring that into the book as well. Again, make it as diverse as possible. Again, smiling children here when it comes to money. Again, this is a great gift this is a great gift for anyone in your life. And at the end of this book, it talks about zero. Z is for zero. You don't want to have $0 and cents. So don't spend all of your money. Remember, saving is important too. So again, I'm just here celebrating the anniversary of launching the Mommy Can You Teach Me About Money series of books. This was the latest one, the ABCs of Money for Little Spenders. I think it came out in May or June of this year. These books are on Walmart.com, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon.com. I think they're even on eBay. They're on eBay. There's Kindle versions, so you can go to the Apple store. You can go to Kindle and download a version of this book, or you can get the physical copy. Again, if you get the series, this is going to help kids grow, and as they grow, they learn about the different money concepts. Again, keeping diversity in mind, encouraging kids to talk about money with an adult so that when they leave the house, they're not left questioning, what do I do with this money? I got my first job. What do I do with this money? How do I manage it? We want them to learn before they leave the house, but to also get you as adults comfortable with talking about money. If you're comfortable talking about money, they're going to be comfortable talking about money, how to save it, how to budget it, how to earn it, and also how to invest it and grow it so that they have that successful financial future. So again, celebrate with me today, November 23rd, with the launch of the Mommy Can You Teach Me series of books, and put it in someone's stocking or gift bag for Christmas. I do have a client call coming up at 11 o'clock, so let me prepare for that so I can continue to teach the world about financial literacy. So check out the Mommy Can You Teach Me About Money series of book. Again, author Annette Harris here. So you can Google me, find out about more about the book series on Amazon and other platforms as well. So I hope you have a happy Saturday and a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate it as well. Thanks, everyone.